The science behind spontaneous human combustion explained. Spontaneous human combustion, SHC, is a term that conjures images of people bursting into flames for no apparent reason, leaving behind little more than ash and a pile of mysteries. Stories of SHC have circulated for centuries, often describing victims reduced to ashes while nearby objects remain strangely untouched. But what does science actually say about this phenomenon? What is spontaneous human combustion? SHC refers to cases where a human body appears to ignite and burn without an external source of flame. The classic accounts typically feature a victim found almost completely incinerated, sometimes with limbs left unburned and minimal damage to the surrounding environment. These dramatic scenes have fueled speculation, fear, and fascination. Famous cases. Mary Reeser, 1951. 67-year-old Mary Reeser was found burned to death in her Florida home. Her remains consisted of a small pile of ash, 1 foot, and part of her spine. The chair she sat in was also destroyed, but the rest of the room was largely undamaged. Henry Thomas, 1980. In Wales, Henry Thomas was found almost entirely incinerated in his living room, with his head and part of his legs left intact. Scientific investigation and explanations. Despite sensational headlines, thorough investigations have found no evidence that combustion occurs spontaneously, that is, without an external source of ignition. Instead, several scientific explanations have been proposed. 1. The wick effect. The most widely accepted scientific explanation is called the wick effect. Here's how it works. If a person's clothes catch fire, possibly from a dropped cigarette, ember from a fireplace, or another ignition source, the clothing acts as a wick, like in a candle. The body's fat melts and soaks into the clothing, providing fuel that can sustain a slow, smoldering fire for hours. This process can generate enough heat to incinerate soft tissues and bones, yet burn so slowly that it doesn't ignite the entire room. Supporting evidence. In 1998, the BBC program Q.E.D. demonstrated the wick effect by wrapping a piece of pork in fabric and lighting it. The pork burned slowly, leaving behind a charred residue similar to SHC cases, while the surrounding area was largely unaffected. Second, external ignition sources. Most SHC cases involve individuals who are elderly, infirm, or intoxicated, and may not notice or respond quickly to a small fire starting on their person. Common sources include cigarettes, fireplaces, and candles. 3. Environmental factors. Closed rooms, limited oxygen can cause a slow, smoldering burn rather than a fast-spreading blaze. Material composition. Synthetic fabrics and foam furniture can sometimes contribute to intense, localized burning. 4th, medical conditions. Some have suggested that certain medical conditions, such as alcoholism or obesity, may predispose individuals to SHC, but there is no direct evidence supporting this. Instead, these factors may increase the likelihood of accidental ignition or incapacitation. Debunking the myths. No spontaneous fire. There has never been a verified case of a person catching fire with no external ignition source. No chemical reactions in the body. The human body is mostly water and does not contain chemicals that could ignite without an external spark. No supernatural forces. Despite persistent myths, there is no scientific evidence linking SHC to paranormal phenomena. Why do surroundings often go unburned? The wick effect creates a localized fire that burns the body but does not generate enough heat to ignite objects further away. Additionally, some fires may self-extinguish as oxygen is depleted in the immediate area. Conclusion. Spontaneous human combustion is not a supernatural or unexplained mystery. All credible scientific investigations point toward accidental ignition and the wick effect as the real causes behind these strange and tragic incidents. While the phenomenon is rare and the images it conjures are dramatic, the science is clear. There is nothing spontaneous about human combustion, just a combination of unfortunate circumstances, flammable materials, and a source of ignition.